ask both of you that question. Why don't you, first of all, Jeff, why don't you put in housing, for example?
We got a very specific brief from the city. They said that this is part of the city centre. The city centre is trapped by the ring road at the moment. They said, break the ring road and let some of the city expand. They didn't ask us to put housing in. This is a small development in terms of the whole city. The whole city is housing.
Well, why don't you put in housing?
I have to,
well, hang on, let me ask you
I have to disagree
housing.
with Jeff, because a lot of us on the planning committee wanted to see housing in there. We said that housing was essential for a city centre to make it live, that the cities, you know, that do live, like Edinburgh, live very much in the city centre because people live in it, right in the centre, and it's something I would like to see. We asked the developers that, and as I understand it, the developers said that they couldn't maximise their return. They wouldn't get quite as much profit by providing that housing as they would by providing the glitch.
I have a written brief from the city, and it does not mention housing. This site here has got a very vibrant market. We are going to keep the market. The market starts humming. The market starts humming.
They have no intention of keeping the market. They intend to destroy the market. They want to erase the market from the city centre, and we can refute his statement. We have negotiated with...
Why was it a poverty report taken to identify what the market shop is, where they shop, how many shop in the shops? It was proven that 57% of the shopping public coming to town, right, shop in the market.
Here.
Yes, and only 40% of them shop in the shops, so they can do it out of 40%. Get rid of them.
Absolutely not. What we're doing, we're having two shopping centres here. We're keeping the best of the old, and the best of the old is the market. Why on earth are we trying to do away with them? They're famous.
Who are they in collusion with?
Yeah, go on. Mr. Cabbage Man.
Intentions. Why won't the city really give their true intentions? Their true intentions is to have a city centre that is designed for other people. They want to design a city centre for the tourists, the visitors, and the 10% of the population that can afford to shop in these fancy shops.
We've got loads of councillors here. No, we don't want another shop of the cabbage. Right, then,
from the real Birmingham people.
Now, you're a councillor. Listen to what he's saying. He's one of yours. Somebody you represent.
Councillor Anna, and also the daughter of a market trader for many, many years. I believe that we should keep the market. It is the focal point of Birmingham. The market, it is Birmingham. The people want it. The people go there. It's vibrant, yes, but we need it to be more vibrant.
So will you be voting against the plans?
I want to listen to the people. The people are the people that we must listen to.
What do you say to his argument that what's happening, as indeed could be said is happening in a lot of cities and towns throughout the whole of the central region, is that you're trying to make them yuppie places, places for tourists to go to?
If we don't take up the offer of the developers' investment, the people will go away to places like Merry Hill. They're already doing this.
Let me explain. Just a minute. I have to explain that Merry Hill, because not everybody lives in Birmingham and watches this program, is an out-of-centre shopping centre.
Out-of-city shopping centre, yes. And people are going that way because it needs to be redeveloped, the Bull Ring. And we want the developers to manage it. We want it for the people.
To the arguments, basically, the mistakes were made by the planners, the people who lived in Ivory Towers in the 60s. They made the mistakes that we've had to suffer for the last 30 years. Now, what we have said, and I'm a market trader, what we've said throughout the whole of this argument over the last 3 years is, all right, if you want to build a shopping mall for those, that section of the public that love and live and want to work and shop in this area from visiting this area. In other words, keep the best of the old and let the city have real depth.
What is constantly forgotten is the fact that the Bull Ring is a place. It's an historical place. It's not...
Here, the name's the Bull Ring.
Can I ask? Yes, lady at the back there. Are you in favour? All right, it's not a shopping centre. Lady at the back.
We should keep the Bull Ring because it's part of the link of the past.
You want to keep it? Lady there.
Yes, we're saying that the Bull Ring wants to be redeveloped. We'd like something new, but we'd like to go back to the Bull Ring where we are now, north of the church. And the public meetings that I went to, fair enough, they do show a few stalls in front of the church.
Is there anybody in our audience who actually wants to see the Bull Ring pulled down and redeveloped?
Bull Ring shopping centre.
No? Right, you're a councillor, go on.
I'm a city councillor, and if I had a vote on this, I would vote against this redevelopment, because if the Bullring's to be redeveloped, if the Bullring's to be redeveloped, we don't want those big blocks of expensive shopping. What we want is traditional streets with the marketplace in the centre, and that's the kind of development that people in Birmingham want.
What do you say to the point that Birmingham's got to move into the 21st century, and that's just a 60s relic?
The problem that we're having in Birmingham is one side of the city we have the International Convention Centre. If this is built, we'll have expensive shopping at the other side, and you'll have to have an American Express card to come and shop in Birmingham. we want a development. We want a development that ordinary people in Birmingham can be proud of and come along and want to do their shopping in there.
Birmingham's going up market. It's got this beautiful new hotel. It's got its youth exhibition centres and all the rest of it. Isn't the
How many Birmingham people stop at the Hires Hotel? Local people.
Let's move up market. It's wonderful to move up market, but what about the people that live here? The council and the councillors are the custodians of this city, and they have to listen to the people that live in this city. They shop in the markets, and thousands upon thousands that come down every week to the markets for the enjoyment of it.
Alan, is there a middle way in this?
Well, there is an issue of cheap shopping, which is central to the whole debate. But I don't think that issue is an issue that refers really to the market trader. The problem is that the cheap shopping is going to be displaced from the bullring as it exists at the moment, from the interior of the bullring with this new development. And somehow that cheap shopping has to be reincorporated either onto this site, or in some way in the periphery of the site if the developer refuses to put it onto the site. Now, it's cheap shopping for people who do come to the city centre from all over Birmingham and from outside of Birmingham, but it's not really a market trader issue because the markets, as far as I understand it, will be there.
Very much wrong.
I might say, I think the trouble is with this, one side's going to say yes, and the other side's going to say no, and we're never going to get anywhere. Jeff, what do you say to these people that say this is a great big yuppie development, and that city centres throughout the whole of the country are beginning to have that samey feeling? They all look the same.
Birmingham is not going to look the same. This is going to be a different sort of scheme. I've heard a lot about the markets are going to be done away with. I would like to publicly say that I identify with the markets and I'm working very hard to keep them. And I'm not trying to change them or make them into yuppie places. The markets are famous. The Bullring is famous for the market. It's a tremendous asset. We're taking advantage of this and we want to live with the markets. We want to have 2 shopping centres here. We want to have
I know you refute it.
We want to have the best of what we have at the moment. Now that is the markets, the local shops, and the people walking down the street. But why can't we have a modern shopping centre
People walking down the street?
Where's the street? The group of people that nobody ever really anticipates in these planning programmes is the people with disabilities in Birmingham, the pedestrian access of for people with disabilities in Birmingham. We haven't been consulted at all.
Yes, you have. I've met the
The
gentleman
consultation process is after you've decided what you're already going to do.
No,
Just
I met
like
him
it is
before
with the
it was
market
designed.
traders. Where is
Yes, the same as the traders in the beginning. Area.
They've got cards. Where are you going to allow people to
Let's come on to that point, Jeff. Let him on to that point. When are you going to take these people
Please
into
look at the
account?
Bullring at the moment. It's down steps into dark subways.
Yes, it is.
Down steps into dark subways. We promise there will be not one subway built in this new scheme, and they'll be able to get from one end to the other, top to bottom, without a single step.
You've got to go up 4 stories to come down to the Bullring.
Go on, you
Bad going
answer
up,
that
isn't it? Coming down.
When we're going to have a pedestrianised city centre area, how are you going to make sure that city centre public transport is accessible for all sorts of people with all sorts of disabilities? Is that a condition of any sort of redevelopment?